Shalom, Israel. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakak, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops at Great Millstone, and peace and salutations and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect. Shalom. Back with another lesson. This will be straight to the point. And, Esau, Edom, he's building his case. He's building this case against the true men of the Lord, the Hebrew Israelites, the prophets. I'm gonna play a quick clip. What you see on the screen. This is Vocab Malone. He tries to debunk. The teaching, man. He tries to debunk the Hebrew Israelites, and he's a FBI agent. Period. And he's right along, and he's an Edomite himself through the spirit. But Esau is building his case, and and he's going into the whole thing with, them dudes over there in the Genesis camp, Deacon Akkad and Brother Hassad. Basically they came out and they done switched up, and now they're saying salvation is for all nations. See, and the Lord tell you in Scripture that, he has a controversy with the nations. See, there's a whole controversy on who the Lord's people really are. There's a controversy about the Lord's name. See, and the Lord told you that He was going to go through and stir up jealousy like a man of war, roughly paraphrasing it. And that He was going to make a full end of all nations, but not a full end of Jacob. See, it's all over the Scriptures, man. The Lord told you, for I'm the Lord, I change not. But basically in this, Vocab is trying to manipulate the situation to, to make it seem like, the Hebrew Israelites, this is an emotional, revengeful, teaching. I'm gonna let this play, and then I'll just kind of, piggyback off it. But we don't got too much more time in this, man. The persecution is coming, and Esau is building his case against us, period. And this is all a part of prophecy. Because the Lord told you, they persecuted me, they gonna persecute you. So I'm gonna let this play, and I'll just kind of quote some scriptures. Call halal, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi.
Right, into the whole situation. Tazaryak of ISUPK is the one who revealed this. I told him when I was trying to set up a debate, and he's supposed to keep it under wraps, but he had no such intention of doing that. He told me he probably wasn't going to, so hey. When he said, no, we have to let this be known because it's going to hurt a lot of people. It's going to hurt a lot of people. In his live stream from his car that he did this, about this, when he sort of broke the story. Alazar knew about this. I knew about this. We could have broke the story a long time ago if we wanted to. We're not there to break his story. We're there to try to get to truth. Well, Tazaryak got his own agenda. So he goes live in his car and he says, it's going to hurt a lot of people. Now think about this. Let's say you're a Hebrew Israelite, you're one Wester, and someone says, well, some Gentiles can experience some form of salvation too. That's going to hurt you. You still think you're an Israelite, right? You still think you're getting in and getting to do all these things, right? Why would you be hurt, confused, maybe challenged, perplexed, thrown off? There's so many words, right? Angry, angered by this. Out of all the words Captain Tessariah could have chosen to use, he used the word hurt. Hebrew Israelites are hurt by the thought that other people that they don't like could get into the kingdom. They cannot stand that idea. It literally hurts them. And it shows you ultimately it's an emotional religion. It is based upon revenge and reaction and response and anger. And we got to get ours and they got to get theirs. That is.
You see? You see? You know, this is all a part of Esau building his case. And the scriptures, it totally goes against about being in your emotions, because the Lord tells he tells you in the scriptures that that the heart is deceitful, and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Roughly paraphrasing it, and that, lean not unto your own understanding. Whoso believeth in his own heart is a fool. And we walk by faith and not sight. I mean, there's so many scriptures that goes against be slow to anger. What do you say? Roughly paraphrasing it, but a soft answer turneth away wrath. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. And if it be possible, to get along, if it be possible, basically to get along with all men, if it be possible. Roughly paraphrasing it. I'm just, this coming out raw through the Spirit. But, this is all a part of Esau building his case. And now, the Hebrew Israelites are mad. They're just, they're mad that, now, look how they are, that their own are telling them that, salvation is for everybody. And then look how they act. They're hurt. They're full of emotion. This is all deception. But, there's just nothing nobody can do about this, man, because nothing can stop the word. And the evidence is overwhelming in this end. The evidence is overwhelming. Esau, the so-called white folks, they are in rulership. Without a question, they are in rulership. And look at how everything is going. You got their own people coming out speaking against them. Wars breaking out everywhere, just as the Lord said. And then you got a lot of these Christians and a lot of these people, they're not looking for the kingdom. They're not looking for the kingdom, man. And then you tell them about the destruction that's coming, and they don't believe that. But let me play a little bit more of this. But Esau is building his case. He's building his case against the men of the Lord. ultimately at a great millstone. I think it was right about here. I just want to kind of hit the points because he's trying to make it seem like we're just full of emotion and this is what we're going off, and it's not. This isn't. This isn't of the Lord. So let me play this right about here. I think
they're not the reigning ruling class. They don't get the priesthood. They don't get the new covenant.
They don't get the priesthood. Hold on to that one, okay? Hold on to that one.
They don't get a lot of things that we get. There's still an ethnic hierarchy.
Exactly.
So go ahead.
There's still clearly an ethnic hierarchy. You guys are teaching Christianity. Does Christianity teach us an ethnic hierarchy? And even Christians that are watching, you guys probably think we're on your side. We're not still. Now we're just at war with everybody. Our own community.
I think it was right about here, Salakia.
Listen to what he said here. Now he's saying, well, here's all the things they don't get.
144,000. They're not the reigning ruling class. They don't get the priesthood. They don't get the new covenant.
They don't get the priesthood. Hold on to that one, okay? Hold on to that one.
They don't get a lot of things that we get. There's still an ethnic hierarchy.
Exactly.
So go ahead.
There's still clearly an ethnic hierarchy. You guys are teaching Christianity.
Hold on. Yeah.
Okay, let's continue on and watch this and see what they say.
Yeah, right here, Salakia.
That's what they got to do. Now, here's something you Israelites should be happy about because me and Hassan are happy about it.
See what I'm saying? So much of their doctrine and their discussion and their commentary is driven by their feelings. This religion is a religion of emotion.
See? And that's basically that's the point, man. He trying to cut it out to basically, for us to be full of emotion and hate and, and the scriptures go, they go against, they tell you about the Lord tell you about your emotions, man. And what is that? Galatians. That the spirit and the flesh they're opposed against each other. Roughly paraphrasing it, that if you're led by the spirit, then you're not under the law. See, and them Christians, them Sunday Christians, they hear that. That if you're led by the Spirit, then you're not under the law. So that means that you don't have to keep the law. No, it's saying basically that, if you are already in the Spirit, you're already rehearsing and keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. So yeah, you're not under the law if you're already in the Spirit. And what is the Spirit? It's the gospel. It's the scriptures. It's so much. It's madness right now, man. This is a spiritual battle right now. And the Lord, like He said, he got a controversy with the nations, and He was going to make a full end of all nations, and to restore Jake back in their land, and they would dwell safely. And that the kingdom would not be left to any other people. I'll tell you that in Daniel. See? But, there's so many scriptures that cut that about being full of emotion, man. But Esau's building his case. Esau is building his case against the prophets, man, the Hebrew Israelites, against the men of the Lord. So, Esau won't, he's not going to stop this word. And the elect out of the Lord's people, they're not going to be deceived, man. So I'll leave it there. And, we're in that time of different spies and agents and trickery and deception, man. Brothers gotta be right. You gotta be right, man. You know, everything's to be expected. Everything is to be expected, man. We in that time though, and through the Spirit, you know, coming into this so-called 2026, Esau, he about to bust Jake in their mouth. He about to bust Jake right in their mouth, right out the gate, coming into the so-called 2026 New Year here. You know, we don't got too much more time. The persecution is coming. So, you know, and you heard that Pete Hegseth, the Secretary, U.S. Secretary of Defense, you know, calling Jake, you know, basically debris, you know, just in the way, you know. So, and that we're in a 1939 moment, you know, wartime footing, you know, when you know, them Nazis were invading, you know. But I'll leave it there. I don't want to make this too long, man. It's just a quick hit. But you know, we don't got too much more time. Esau is definitely building his case. And this guy, Vocab Malone, he's a FBI agent. He's no good. Period. So, you know, pray and watch. Pray and watch, man. Because we in that time. And it's getting real close to the Lord's return.